last time we had 800,000 around. We're looking at almost the same number. You know, we're just opening up after COVID. So many families are not very free to travel. I guess there's still that fear and phobia. So we're looking forward because we know that much of the world has opened, but still there are some areas that people still are scared of traveling. But we want to encourage them and tell them that Kenya is a COVID-free area, so they can visit. And of course, because of the warm climate that is in our country, of course, some of our positioning as a country has really helped us to navigate through all these challenges. To seek collaboration, we are here to seek partnerships, but we are also here to forge forward because we know we have challenges, and that's why the theme of this convention is very critical for us. We are rethinking together, and we are embracing new rules even after accepting the new normal. And so it is very critical for us to be here. And as a minister, I really feel very honored because you've seen the numbers have grown up, and all courtesy because of airlines and travel agents who have really worked tirelessly to connect the traveler to this country so that they can enjoy the millions of attractions that we have, tourism attractions. We've seen international tourists hiking from 870 to 1.4 million tourists in this country. Again, we have seen the bed occupancy of both international and local and domestic at 5.5 million. That means if we subtract the international, we are talking about a domestic tourism that has grown in this country. And I can say for sure Kenya was rated as one of the countries that have done very well in domestic. And I want to talk about this because many people hear me talk about international tourists and they ask, where are we in terms of domestic? Domestic has really grown. We are eating 3.5 million. Local people visiting our local touristic sites within the country. And I can tell you Kenya was rated as #1 country in Africa during COVID because we maximized on Nairobi National Park by our own very people of Kenya visiting that site. And therefore I want to commend my fellow Kenyans for taking advantage of the many attractions that we have in this country and visiting. Basically, yeah, these are new challenges, and it's not only fuel or even a financial crisis, but we were also talking about the climate change. We are also talking about the Russian war because it has an impact on travel. And therefore, every government in Africa, not only Kenya, they are navigating on this agenda. As you know, we in Africa, we don't mind, fuel, and we rely more on Middle East. And so what you're doing is just a collaboration so that we can see how we can work and navigate through these challenges. But of course, on the area of climate change, which also the air travel comes in because who are the most polluters of the airspace? Again, they are in. And that's why we're bringing all the stakeholders to come together and navigate about these challenges. Well, the projections are bright and are encouraging, and the future is bright, I must say, because we're looking at the trajectory of the first few months we've been in, and you have seen a lot of growth in numbers to a tune of 800, to a tune of 600 more numbers increasing within a short period. And so we are projecting to get back to pre-COVID levels, which was 2.4 million. So we want to believe by the end of this year we will have surpassed that. But we have projection of 3 years, we have projection of 5 years again, hitting to a tune of 5 million by the time we hit the first term. And we want to believe that it is possible. So we're trying to be very diligent in terms of the budgets that we project. Are they realistic? Indeed. And I can say, even though the budget for marketing dropped to 4 million, yes, it's not enough. But then is there a time when money is enough? we will navigate through innovation and through collaborations and partnerships so that we can achieve our goal in the area of marketing.
So far, we're seeing some of the challenges around capacity, connectivity, and cash flows. It's what I call my 3 Cs. Connectivity across the continent is still lacking. Connectivity across the globe from Africa is still a challenge and extremely expensive. Capacity, post-COVID, we are not seeing the number of airlines with the capacity as we used to have pre-COVID. Again, this makes travel very, very expensive for travelers out of Africa. And then I said cash flows. The conditions that we as travel agents operate in are usually under very long credit periods, minimum 30 to 60 days that our clients expect from us. And of course, IATA expects their payments within 15 days. So that creates a major challenge. So it's what I call the 3 Cs. Hopefully through conversations like we have at our convention, we can find solutions and long-term workable projects so that we can then cap these gaps. Fuel taxes, of course, it makes airline travel very expensive. Thankfully, we've seen this revenge travel really take hold, not just internationally, but also for Kenyans who are looking to really make the most of travel out of the country and even within the country, as Madam CS said. So we are seeing that despite the high fares, passengers are still traveling for leisure and for corporate. What was previously preferred as Zoom meetings, we're seeing that trend slowly dying down, and corporates going back to their previous ways despite the high airfares. We see airline travel continuing to grow. Hopefully by the end of 2023 we will hit or surpass the revenues of the pre-COVID years of 2019. So we're very optimistic. We're seeing a lot of innovation, a lot of technology made accessible to businesses in the travel agency community. So we're very optimistic for future growth.
Now, of course, is very much a market leader because they are a very, very mature association. And IATA has always had a presence in Kenya. And they are very, very close to IATA. And whatever affects the region, we actually look up to Qatar as our big brother and big sister to help us navigate new rules, new procedures, etc., etc. Uganda rebranded as a country in 2022 January. Our new tagline is Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. My name is Pearl, and that's the reason why this is so much close to my heart. Uganda, destination Uganda, sits astride the equator. So Winston Churchill actually named our country. Kenya and Uganda have got a very, very strong bond. I'll tell you what is happening new, or what has happened just actually 2 weeks ago. Our councillor who sits in Mombasa is very, very active, and he wants to collaborate with tours and travel agents in Uganda, have them come and visit Mombasa coast, see the product, and after 2 weeks, then the Kenyan coast tour operators will come and visit Uganda.
Chief guest, Cabinet Secretary, Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage, Honorable.
Grounded air traffic over Europe. I can go on and on and on, but I can say now, our industries, ladies and gentlemen, the normal
number of hotel bookings. This trend cuts across regions globally, and Africa is going through the same experience as we've seen from presentation from IATA. Levels. And really this does speak to what we've heard from the speakers who've gone ahead of me. This was a marked improvement from the last season where
we do. Let's make sure that we're able to communicate and get to those touch points and make sure that that 84%, when they do that study again, perhaps because of the contribution we're making, it will have come down.
Focus on sustainability in order to preserve the communities and places for visitors long into the future. We urge you to see how you can play a role to the rebound in this sector through mutually beneficial partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, with the partnerships between the sectors represented here, solutions for travel agents which we will be unveiling soon. Later, my colleagues will speak about this in more detail, about the solutions,
reduced output. Our colleagues in cargo, instead of carrying consumer goods, they were carrying essential medicines. And is very important. And I have no doubt we will use the occasion to share our expertise, our collective insights, knowledge, experience.
Before I invite Mr. Julius Byro, Chief Commercial and Customer Officer of Kenya Airways, there is a short video that's going to be played, and then
opportunities of expansion, our operations. And as you all may know, Africa features significant need in that regard. Beside all that, milestones and calamities.
Our next speaker, I'd like to invite Ms. Sheila Changangwa, Head of Marketing for East Africa at Visa. She will be speaking on behalf of Ms. Ivan Gigi, Senior Business Leader. And
when I say visa, I'm not talking about the travel document you get in your passport. I'm talking about the payment technology company that provides the network and the,
passenger experience. Again, in 2008, financial crisis saw a decline in companies' expenditure spending and a discretionary.
Ladies and gentlemen, our data shows us that the travel and tourism sector continues to rebound to pre-pandemic levels. The speakers before me have
Gift given. It's a sweet escape to premium lounge facilities.